Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of Wrestling Results here on this channel. So we have under the lights, we got yellow and green. Yellow meaning as great storylines, and same with green as great storylines, as NXT and Lucha Underground both had freaking great storylines. So I decided AEW will get yellow and green at the same time. So that's what I thought. So anyways, guys, I don't have COVID. Anyways, guys, if you haven't watched the AEW All Out yet, go check it out before you guys come see the results here on this channel. If you guys don't even want to go see it, here's the results for you guys. AEW All Out was emit from the Now Arena in Chicago, Illinois, guys. Oh my god, this was the best freaking pay-per-view ever. This was worth my freaking $50 worth of my money of this paycheck. I have to admit, this whole show, besides a couple of matches, were just like, made me want to go fall asleep and everything, because the rest holds and stuff, it gets annoying with the freaking rest holds. So it's Sunday night, and you know what that means. The buy-in. Excalibur and Tony Schiavone were the broadcast team for the buy-in portion of the night. The Hardy Family Office, Angelo, Jack Evans, Isaiah Cassidy, Marquand, and Big Money, Matt Hardy, versus Best Friends, Chuck Taylor, Freshly Squeezed Orange Cassidy, and Wheeler, Utah, and Jungle Express, and Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus with Marco Stunt. Now, with I wasn't sure what happened to Trent Beretta, but I guess he's out with an injury. I guess I'm not too sure as I'm hearing this, but I hope he has a speedy recovery, and I hope to see him back soon and to join the Best Friends. Maybe, who knows, he might turn heel when he comes back. Who knows? You know how professional wrestling is. They change things around when people come back. Anyways, guys, we have Matt Hardy bucked Chuck Taylor into the corner and called out Orange Cassidy. He demanded that Cassidy enter the ring to compete. Instead, Luchasaurus tagged in, and Hardy quickly tagged out to Jack Evans. Luchasaurus used a wheelbarrow, which, I mean, actually, let's go back to Matt Hardy. He is pretty much scared of Luchasaurus. I'm sorry to say. And also, I want to say is that I'm really mad at AEW right now for not putting the Jurassic Express involved in the tag team championship match. I'm very, very upset with this. They deserve it way more than freaking the Lucha Brothers. Lucha Brothers do not deserve it. I have to say that Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy deserve the tag titles chance at it again once more. I guarantee they would have won the tag titles if it wasn't for the stupid storyline for this coming up tonight. Anyways, German suplex to hurl back Evans. Jungle Boy tagged in with a splash to Jack Evans. Marquand tagged in and connected with a crossbody on Wheeler, Utah. Everyone was tied up in knots when Luchasaurus tagged in and plowed through. Hardy used a chop block on Luchasaurus, and the Private Party used double team offense on Luchasaurus. The Kentucky Gentleman Chuck Taylor entered the fray with a top con hera. TH2 used a neckbreaker backbreaker combo on Wheeler Utah. Private Party served up and gin and juice on Wheeler, but Orange was there to make the save. Matt Hardy nailed Orange Cassidy from behind with a twist of fate. Jungle Boy propped himself on Luchasaurus' shoulders and battled Private Party and TH2. Then Jungle Boy locked in the snare trap on Angelico and made him tap. What a victory for this team, said Excalibur. They had the odds against them in many ways. We saw some spectacular moves, added Tony Schiavone. The action was almost too fast to call, replied Excalibur. After the match, the Butcher returned. The Butcher and the Blade decimated Orange Cassidy, and as Matt Hardy taunted, freshly squeezed, Jack Evans was going to try to cut Orange Cassidy's hair off until the Varsity Blondes, John Silver, and Dante Martin, and some of Orange Cassidy's other friends chased off HFO. American top teams. Dan Lambert was in the skybox. He was flanked by Andrei Alavsky. If I'm saying this all wrong, I'm so sorry. But Junior Dos Santos and Jorge Masvidal, alongside with men of the years Scorpio Sky and All Ego Ethan Page. Sky and Page put the All Elite Wrestling roster on notice. Jim Ross joined the commentary team for All Out. All Out kicked off with the AEW TNT title match. AEW TNT champion, the Redeemer, which I'm surprised they're not going as the God's favorite champion anymore, Miro, versus Mad King Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston walked out to the ring with purpose. He knows if there's one man who can beat the Redeemer, it's Eddie, said Excalibur. Big game feel here, said Jim Ross. The crowd chanted, "Redeem these nuts." Eddie used his street fighting instinct and poked Miro in the eyes. He tossed the champion with an exploder suplex. Miro rolled to the outside of the ring to take a moment to recover. Kingston followed Miro outside, but Miro sent him into the steel barricade. Eddie retaliated with a bicycle kick to Miro. Kingston jumped off the apron, but Miro caught him and countered with a power slam to the floor off of the Now Arena. That splat you heard was Eddie Kingston's spine on the floor, said Jim Ross. Back in the ring, Kingston targeted Miro's neck with 2 consecutive backdrops for a near fall. He has the champion in jeopardy. He looks for the spinning back fist, said Excalibur. Miro rolled back outside, and Kingston followed up with an elbow suicida. Kingston hooked Miro's leg for a near fall. After a fisherman's suplex, Miro lured Kingston into the corner. Miro suplexed Kingston back, but not before Kingston pulled off the turnbuckle pad. Miro applied the game over camel clutch, but Kingston was able to grab the bottom rope to break the hold. The fans came unglued. Kingston fought back with the spinning back fist and the DDT for a near fall. "My God, how close can it be?" said Jim Ross. Kingston attempted a pile driver, but his lower back was problematic. Miro used an undetected low blow and then a high velocity kick across the face to pin Kingston. "That Miro is a Kagasi, son of a gun," Jim Ross said. "Miro remains undefeated," replied Excalibur. Next we have Jon Moxley versus NJPW Satoshi Kojima. "The forbidden door has been kicked open once again," said Excalibur. Moxley came out to his Wild Thing entrance wearing a GCW hoodie. Jon Moxley flipped off Kojima, and they began to exchange stiff chops. They're teeing off one on one another, said Excalibur. Mox and Kojima brawled outside the ring. Mox rocketed through the air, through the ropes, with a Topia Suicida. Back in the ring, Kojima backed Mox into the corner and blasted him with machine gun chops. Kojima followed up with the elbow drop for a near fall. Moxley was looking for the paradigm shift, but Kojima countered with a brainbuster. Kojima removed his elbow pad and tried for his legendary lariat, but Mox ducked it. Mox answered with a suplex. Mox's King Kong lariat was blocked by Kojima's lariat. Kojima followed up with a left arm lariat and then the Kaji cutter. "They're loving this here in Chicago," said Tony Schiavone as the fans were chanting AEW, AEW, AEW. The two competitors went back to exchanging forearms. Mox got the better of Kojima and tried to apply the rear naked choke. Kojima made it to the ropes to force the ref break. Mox pressed the attack with wheel kicks. Kojima retaliated with Mongolian chops. Mox and Kojima collide, and Mox finally hit the paradigm shift, and then a well-placed second paradigm shift for the pin on Kojima. "What a war, what a victory for Jon Moxley," said Excalibur. After the match, Minoru Suzuki music began to play. Moxley was shaking his head no. Minoru Suzuki walked onto the ramp. "The forbidden door has been blasted open," said Excalibur. Suzuki got in the ring and he had a stare down with Moxley. Suzuki laughed and they began to exchange forearms. Suzuki applied the rear naked choke on Moxley. Then Suzuki spiked Moxley with the Gotch style pile driver. Next we have the AEW Women's World Title match. AEW Women's World Champion Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, with Rebel and Jamie Hayter versus the Galaxy's greatest alien Chris Statlander with Orange Cassidy. You know what? I'm gonna mention I hate Orange Cassidy. I dislike him because him and his stupid hands in his pockets. You don't wrestle with your hands in your pockets. That's so stupid. I hate when he does that. And his stupid little kicks to... I hate that. He needs to stop that. Stop it, Orange Cassidy, or we riot. Statlander did a handstand on the turnbuckle and then used a mule kick on the champ. Baker followed up with a fisherman's neck breaker off the ropes. Baker trapped the head of the Statlanders with her feet and then drove her into the mat with a stomp technique. Baker employed vicious elbow strikes on Statlander's right shoulder, trying to soften her up for the lock jaw. Statlander rocked Baker back to the corner with strikes and then a running knee. Statlander hit Baker with an inside hook Falcon Arrow for a near fall. Baker rolled through a short arm lariat from Statlander and followed up with a DDT. Statlander got a near fall on Baker after a massive scissors kick. Statlander tried for the pendulum moonsault, but Baker moved out of the way, and then Baker launched herself off the rope steps to crush Statlander with a curb stomp on the arena floor. Orange Cassidy yelled at Statlander to get back in the ring to avoid being counted out by the ref, Paul Turner. Baker hit the Pittsburgh Sunrise for a near fall. She followed up with a curb stomp and then applied the locked jaw. Statlander had no choice but to tap. What a match, said Schiavone. Outstanding contest, said Jim Ross. Alex Marvez was backstage with Andrade El Idolo. Marvez asked Andrade El Idolo had caused Pac's travel problems. Andrade El Idolo said he was here to fight and wouldn't cancel Pac's flight. He said this Friday he'd be taking on Pac at Rampage. AEW World Tag Team title match in a steel cage. The AEW World Tag Team Champions, the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Bros, Penta El Zero Miedo, and Rey Fenix with Alex Alberatos. I don't know how to pronounce his name. But anyways, Zero Miedo right into the face. I hate when he does that. How would he feel if somebody went Zero Miedo into somebody else's face? How would it feel if somebody did that to his face? Zero Miedo, Zero Miedo, Zero Miedo. How would he feel getting that shit in your face? He needs to fucking stop that. This is the reason why I hate Lucha Brothers. Zero Miedo, boom, in your face. Yeah, boom, punch in the face to you. For sticking that shit in my face. That was one of the most spectacular entrances I ever seen, said Tony Schiavone about the Lucha Bros' tremendous musical walkout to the ring. Woohoo! It was so stupid, I ignored it anyway. Don Callis joined the commentary team for this match. The Bucks and Lucha Bros began by teeing off one another. The Bucks ran to escape by climbing the cage. I hate both men. I hate both teams, by the way. I dislike both teams. Like I said, Jurassic Express deserves to be in this match, not Lucha Brothers. By climbing the cage, but Rey Fenix hit them with a drop kicks. Rey Fenix sent Nick Jackson soaring off the ropes with a top rope Hurricanrana. Lucha Bros will pull the Young Bucks with thrust kicks to the side of the head. The Lucha Bros crashed and burned into the cage as the Bucks dodged in their dives. Nick Jackson hit a backstabber on Penta El Zero Miedo. Matt Jackson power bombed Rey Fenix into the steel cage. That's why we're the best, said Matt Jackson, hamming it up for the camera. Penta El Zero Miedo used a sling blade clothesline on Matt Jackson. Nick Jackson used a cutter on Rey Fenix. Matt Jackson hit his own cutter on Penta El Zero Miedo. The Young Bucks' momentum came to the screeching halt after Penta El Zero Miedo hit the Made in Japan on Matt. This is awesome, chanted the sold-out audience at the Now Arena. Nick Jackson rocked Penta El Zero Miedo with an insisted senton atomico. The Bucks tried for the BTE trigger, but Rey Fenix moved, causing the Bucks to collide with one another. The Bucks are looking a little frustrated, said Jim Ross. The Bucks came back with more bang for your buck, but Penta El Zero Miedo made the save and broke up the pin. For Rey Fenix, the Bucks began ripping at the Lucha Bros mask. The Bucks lawn darted Rey Fenix into the cage. Brandon Cutler hurled a bag inside the cage. Matt Jackson opened the bag and pulled out a sneaker that was loaded with thumbtacks. Penta El Zero Miedo put himself in harm's way, acting as a human shield for his brother Rey Fenix, which was kind of stupid in my eyes. Matt Jackson super kicked Penta El Zero Miedo with a thumbtack lined sneaker, which he deserved for getting in the way. The Young Bucks nailed Penta El Zero Miedo with a BTE trigger. They were about to pin Rey Fenix for the 3 count when Penta El Zero Miedo made the save. Rey Fenix picked up the thumbtack sneaker and hit Nick Jackson in the head with it. What the hell are we watching? Asked Tony Schiavone. A classic, replied Jim Ross. The beams in the walls are shaking as the crowd urges the Lucha Brothers up, said Excalibur. Matt Jackson hit Penta El Zero Miedo with stiff right hands. They started to fight on top of the turnbuckle, and then Penta El Zero Miedo responded with an avalanche Canadian destroyer. Such a sickening impact, said Excalibur. The Bucks and the Lucha Bros had a super kick war inside the ring. Nick Jackson and Rey Fenix were the first back to their feet, but Nick caught in the fear factor for his efforts. He was almost pinned until Matt Jackson broke up the count. Penta El Zero Miedo pointed to the top of the cage. Rey Fenix climbed up there and then launched himself for a crossbody off the top. The Lucha Bros spiked Nick Jackson and pinned him. And your new AEW Tag Team Champions, the Lucha Brothers. Boo! Next, we have your Women's Casino Battle Royale. The winner earns a future Women's World Title match. Participants included Abaddon, Anna Jay, Big Swole, Boo, Dominati, Emi Sakura, Hikaru Shida, Jade Cargill, Jamie Hayter, Kerry Young Hogan, Kathleen King, Leo Harish, The Native Beast, Nyla Rose, Penelope Ford, Rebel, and Red Velvet, Rio, Sky Blue, Tay Conti, The Bunny, Thunder Rosa, and a mystery entrant. Out first, Hikaru Shida, Sky Blue, Emi Skara, The Bunny, and Abandon. Sky Blue was firing away on the Bunny. Sky was booted out by Abandon. Then the Bunny flipped Abandon over the top rope. The next entrant, Anna J, Kira Hogan, Keila King, Damati, and Nyla Rose. Anna J went right after the Bunny. Nyla Rose clotheslined Keila King over the top rope onto the floor. Nyla Rose dumped Shida over the top. Nyla Rose and Diamante began to target Anna J and the Bunny. Out to the ring next, Thunder Rosa, Penelope Ford, Rio, and Jamie Hayter, and Big Swole. Hayter eliminated Swole. Yay! Diamante and Swole brawled outside the ring. Thunder Rosa blasted Nyla Rose with a dropkick. Then she smashed Jamie Hayter with a running dropkick. You know, here's the thing is, if I were people and there's a big person in the ring that's oversized weight person or taller than you, get that person out before eliminating each other. Come on, people. Then she smashed Jamie Hayter with a running drop kick. The final entrance, Tay Conti, Red Velvet, Legit, Leahy, Harish, Jade Cargill, and Rebel. Red Velvet eliminated Rebel. Bunny and Anna J were fighting on the apron when Anna eliminated the Bunny with a thrust kick. Jade Cargill press slammed Leo over the top rope. The Joker was revealed, and it was Ruby Soho. Ruby Soho makes her AEW debut destination known, said Excalibur. Ruby Soho went right after Jade Cargill. Thunder Rosa hit a step up Rana, and Nyla Rose, Penelope Ford, and Tay Conti traded kicks. Nyla Rose tossed Jade Cargill over the top rope as Jade had her back turned. Tay Conti eliminated Penelope Ford, and then Nyla Rose dispatch of Tay. We were left with Thunder Rosa, Ruby Soho, and Thunder Rosa as our final three. Nyla Rose rocked Thunder Rosa with a Samoan drop. Thunder Rosa eliminated Nyla Rose after a shotgun drop kick. That leaves us now with two, said Jim Ross. Thunder Rosa slapped Ruby Soho, but Ruby Soho answered with shots of her own. Thunder Rosa stomped on Ruby Soho as Soho was hanging from the ring ropes. Ruby Soho and Thunder Rosa are walking the tightrope here, said Excalibur. The Thunder Rosa attempted a Death Valley driver on the apron, but Ruby Soho escaped and knocked Thunder Rosa to the floor with a head kick. Ruby Soho with a date with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, in her future, said Excalibur. The pinnacle MJF versus Demon God Chris Jericho in the final match. If Jericho loses, he will never wrestle in AEW again. Fozzie's guitarist Billy Gray played Jericho out to the ring. Jericho tripped out MJF's leg and was looking for the walls of Jericho, but MJF countered with a cradle for a near fall. It quickly broke down into a brawl outside of the ring. Jericho used his dropkick off the turnbuckle onto MJF. Excuse me, sorry. Jericho playing all the hits, said Excalibur. Jericho tried for a baseball slide dropkick, but MJF countered by lifting the ring apron and trapping Jericho in between the apron and the edge of the ring. MJF started to attack Jericho's arm at this point. MJF covered Jericho for a near fall. After a vertical suplex, MJF chopped at Jericho's chest and then flipped off the crowd. This kid is completely classless, said Jim Ross. MJF spiked Jericho with the heat seeker on the ring apron. MJF was caught on the outside by Jericho, and Jericho powerbombed MJF on the ring apron. We've never seen MJF have to resort to high flying here in AEW, said Excalibur. Jericho jumped from the top rope, but MJF countered with a knee to Jericho's face. MJF struggled to his feet, but Jericho took him down with a double leg. MJF kicked Jericho, but Jericho fought back with a lion salt for a near fall. "You still got it," chanted the fans. Well, yeah, because he hasn't retired or anything or left. Jericho removed his elbow sleeve and then used his arm for repeated shots on MJF. MJF countered a hurricanrana off the top rope with a power bomb for a near fall, which hurt his butt. MJF was screaming in agony, holding his lower back. Like I said, MJF is damaged goods as far as his lower back is concerned, said Jim Ross. MJF resorted to biting Jericho's forehead. He hoisted Jericho to the top turnbuckle and attempted to superplex Jericho. Jericho sensed the shift in the momentum and shoved MJF to the mat. Jericho followed up with a codebreaker for a 2 count. Wardlow walked to the ring, but Hager stopped him. Thank God. I was happy. I was going to be pissed if he got involved. Wardlow and Hager began brawling while ref Audrey Edwards was distracted. MJF grabbed Chris Jericho's baseball bat and blasted Jericho with it. MJF followed up with a Judas effect and pinned Jericho. The referee, Audrey Edwards, didn't see that Jericho's foot was on the bottom rope before she counted the 3 count. The ref, Paul Turner, alerted Audrey Edwards that Jericho had his foot on the bottom rope. Audrey Edwards ordered the match to start over. Jericho went for the Judas effect and MJF dodged it. MJF countered with a salt of the earth armbar. Jericho transitioned into the lion arm submission and made MJF tap out like a bitch. Jericho wins. Chris Jericho's career is going to continue, said Jim Ross. The Inner Circle came out to celebrate with Chris Jericho. In his first match in 7 years, Chicago's own CM Punk versus Darby Allin, accompanied by Sting. But Sting fist-pumped Darby Allin, gave him a hug, and then walked to the back. Darby skateboarded alone to the ring. It's clobbering time. CM Punk has made his entrance. The eye of the world are on All Elite, said Excalibur. Punk was pacing the ring, but Darby sat in the corner and never once took his eyes off Punk. The match started with a collar and elbow tie up until Darby took down Punk with an arm drag. Punk got a side headlock and then used his size advantage to connect with a shoulder block on Darby Allin. Punk got twisted up in a hammerlock by Darby. Punk got to his feet and dropped Darby with a back elbow. Punk caught Darby, and Darby realized Punk was going for GTS, so he quickly escaped and rolled to the outside. Darby is a great student of the game, said Tony Schiavone. Darby rocked Punk with the coffin splash in the corner. Punk reversed an Irish whip and sent Darby into the corner. Darby ricocheted off the ring post hard. Darby charged at Punk, but Punk lifted his knee. Punk applied on an abdominal stretch onto Darby. Punk lured in Darby and dropped him with a whirl backbreaker. Punk has clearly been studying his Darby Allin footage, said Excalibur. Darby's surprised Punk with a stunner off the top ropes. Darby Allin followed up with palm strikes and then a coffin splash off the middle ropes. Darby got a near fall on Punk after the code red. I don't know what we expected out of this match, but I'm loving what I'm seeing, said Tony Schiavone. Darby went up top looking for a coffin drop, but Punk shoved him. Punk attempted a back suplex off the top, but Darby countered and got a near fall on Punk. Punk hit the GTS finisher on Darby Allin, but Darby Allin was knocked through the ropes and outside of the ring. Punk signaled for another GTS with his hands. He tried to pick up Darby, but Darby collapsed. Punk knows Darby's not done, said Jim Ross. Darby began blasting Punk with the point of his elbow one after another. Darby used one body as a battering ram and hit a flipping senton off the top rope onto Punk. Unbelievable, said Excalibur. Darby got lured in by Punk. Darby tried the coffin drop, but Punk sat up and laughed. Darby tried for a poison Rana, but Punk countered with a GTS and pinned Darby. There's a lot of emotion in this crowd right now, and a lot in the ring, said Tony Schiavone. CM Punk proved here tonight he can still stand toe-to-toe with an elite level athlete, added Excalibur. So I read that wrong. CM Punk proved here tonight that he can stand toe-to-toe with an elite level athlete, said Excalibur. Sting walked out to the ring after the match and checked on Darby Allin. Sting and CM Punk shook hands with one another. Punk walked over to Darby and offered his hand as a sign of respect. Next, we have Paul White versus QT Marshall with the Factory, Aaron Solo, and Nick Comoroto. Shallow Solo and Kamado charged at right, but he sent them packing over the ropes to the top rope. Right chopped at Marshall, I should say. QT got to boot up and drop kick Paul White's hip. QT to go for the diamond cutter, but Paul White had it scouted. QT was backdrop sky high by Paul White. Paul White caught QT off the top rope and then chokeslammed him for the pin. Next, we have the main event of the night. AEW World Champion, the Cleaner, Kenny Omega, with Don Callis versus Impact World Champion Christian Cage. Can Christian make it 2 in a row against arguably the greatest wrestler in the world, Kenny Omega? Asked Jim Ross. Things have been disintegrating around the elite, noted Excalibur. Omega tried to get the early advantage with a running knee, but Cage dodged it. Christian Cage rocked Omega with strikes. They brawled outside of the ring, and Christian Cage sent Omega hard into the steel barricade. Kenny Omega set up a table across the body on Christian Cage, and Omega jumped off the ring apron and stomped onto the table below with Christian Cage underneath it. Omega set up another table, Christian, with the help of Don Callis. Christian Cage reversed a suplex attempted by Kenny Omega, and instead Omega found himself suplexed onto the floor, arena floor. Back in the ring, Omega palmed Christian's face and dunked him onto the mat. Head first, Omega worked over Christian Cage with a spectacularly effective area of offense. Somehow, Christian rallied back and hit a hurricanrana off the top rope, bringing Kenny Omega crashing to the mat. Christian Cage escaped a one-winged angel attempt by Kenny. Christian was looking for the clover leaf, but Kenny got a free leg and pushed Christian back. Christian ran towards Kenny, but Kenny hit a knee strike. Again, Christian rallied back, spiking Kenny on his head with a DDT. Christian positioned himself for the kill switch, but Kenny sensed it. Bang! Kenny hit the V trigger, and then a Snapdragon suplex. Omega hit a second Snapdragon suplex, and then a third. Kenny wiped out Christian with a V trigger. Omega was looking for a German suplex off the ring apron, but Christian clung to the ropes with all his might. Christian speared Omega off the apron and through a table below. Looks like some kind of natural disaster out here, said Jim Ross. Christian speared Kenny Omega twice in the ring, folding him in half like a accordion. Christian tried for a frog splash, but Kenny Omega lifted his knee in defense. Omega rocked Christian with a ripcord V-trigger. Don Callis signaled for a backup and outran the Good Brothers. The plan backfired. Christian smashed Omega with the kill switch, but Kenny kicked out. Christian hoisted Omega to the top turnbuckle and was looking for an avalanche kill switch, but Kenny countered with an avalanche, one-winged angel, and pinned Christian Cage, who can dethrone the AEW World Champion as Excalibur. The Young Bucks limped out to help Kenny Omega celebrate in the ring. The Good Brothers joined them. The Elite began to assault Christian Cage after the match. Jurassic Express tried to even up the odds, but Omega brained them with his world title. Are you starting to understand, Chicago? I don't care where you come from. No one is on my level. The only people that would ever have a chance to beat me are retired or they're already dead, said Kenny Omega. Lights go out. Adam Cole came out to the ring, baby. Adam Cole took out Jungle Boy with a thrust kick. Cole hugged the Bucks and got a kiss on both cheeks. I must send the crowd home happy. Without further ado, Omega was interrupted as Bryan's theme song hits. Bryan Danielson's music hit. Danielson helped clear the ring of the Elite. Omega flees and said Excalibur. It's Prior Sixer, said Jim Ross. Bryan Danielson seized up Nick Jackson and nailed him with a knee. The home of professional wrestling is all elite, said Excalibur as Daniel Bryanson, Christian Cage, and Jurassic Express celebrated in the ring. Guys, what a hell of a show. Great debut of Daniel Bryan, Adam Cole, and Ruby Hoso or Shoho. I'm happy to see these guys in all three in all elite wrestling, as the main event just got finished. Thank God. So thank you guys for watching. Well, it was replayed again, so I'm joining you guys this show late because I decided to do my wrestling news first. So anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching. If you guys have watched all the way through, hashtag in the comments below yes, 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 or hashtag yes. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching. So that way I know that you guys watched all the way through to the end. I can't wait to see what's going to happen Wednesday with Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole and Ruby Hosho or Shoho. I'm sorry if I said it backwards. But anyways, guys, I'll see you guys on Monday night going into Tuesday morning. I'm unstoppable, and I'm out.
Hey, everybody, it's your boy Skiz here. And if you don't subscribe to Bryan and the Unstoppable Denominator, then you are a toothy bumfuck, pussy-ass bitch motherfucker.